And the buildings at the back, behind the graveyards there with the bricks, that used to be the workhouse. That was St. Pancras workhouse. Until eventually the NHS was created, the National Health System, and now it is St. Pancras Hospital. So they've reused the building. And let's go and take a look at the coroner's house down there. For the British audience, do you remember in 2002 a horrible serial killer called Thomas Hardy? We called him the Camden Ripper. I don't know if you remember him in the news. Horrible case in Mornington Crescent, just up there. Two of his victims, no, you don't. There was a horrible case. In 2002, they found body parts in bins just up there in Mornington Crescent. The body parts were taken right here, actually. I'll show you the little mortuary. And it turned up that Thomas Hardy had been arrested 10 months earlier. Because of complaints from neighbors, antisocial behavior. So the police came to his flat and they entered, and the bedroom was locked. It was a small one-bedroom flat. And the police was like, "Why is it locked?" And he says, "Oh, I don't know. I've lost the key." The police, they were in there. They found the key. They opened the bedroom and there was a dead lady on the bed. And at the time, he got away with it because the post-mortem concluded natural causes. Why did he not report the death? Well, that's a different story. But, sometimes, especially people doing drugs and stuff, sometimes they get a bit concerned if anyone has, I don't know, an overdose at home or anything like that. So he got away with it. And 10 months later, it was in December, right before Christmas. The little mortuary sign is, the letters are gone, but that's the mortuary. So a gentleman was dumpster diving. He was looking for food in the big dumpsters outside a council block. And he found a bag. He probably believed it was meat or chicken, and he actually found a torso and legs from two different ladies. So they took them here in the mortuary. And they didn't really know how to identify them because it was just body parts. At the beginning, they didn't know if it was maybe from a hospital or from body snatchers or whatever. And eventually, they managed to identify one of them because she had implants, boobs and bum. And because of the implants in her bum, Anthony Hardy, the Camden Ripper. All the implants, they have a serial number. So they identified the victim. Two of them were sex workers from King's Cross. Maybe not as much today, but King's Cross used to be a place where it was very easy to come and pick up a sex worker. And they went to his flat. He had left the door open and he had run away. And in his flat, they found the rest of those two bodies. And so he was running, they were hunting him down until 2nd of January, so for about 3 weeks maybe. They knew he suffered from diabetes, so they knew he was going to have to go into a hospital somewhere, or a pharmacy to get his medication. And actually, a police officer that was off duty spotted him at the hospital and they arrested him. Anyway, horrible case. Anthony Hardy, yeah. When I first considered doing this tour, I was like, "Oh, should I go and show you his house?" But, it's in a council estate, and some people live in his flat today, and it's probably hard enough to live in a flat that was such a horrible murder scene. So it's probably not. In terms of transporting goods, it's very convenient to have both. And we used to have a lot of warehouses here to store a lot of goods, but a lot of coal, because, back in the days, people used coal to warm up their houses, and there were a lot of warehouses here where they kept it. So that's why it's called coal drop yard today. So let's cross over. On the other side there, you see those big cylinders. Those are former gas holders. I know it's probably fairly obvious for the British audience, but we don't have them anywhere else, or at least we don't have them in France or in Italy. When I first moved to the UK, I was like, what are those things? I don't know whether we used to have them, but we did not preserve them, and maybe in the UK we preserve them more. Because back in the days we used to use even more gas because we used it to have light. You know, we had those gas lamps and stuff. Today, a lot of that have been. Oh, Jackie! I never knew he was dead. Oh, well, probably not a big loss. In his defense, he suffered from some kind of mental health issues. But yeah, horrible killer. Oh, good. Thanks for letting me know. I never knew he was dead. Right. So we are now by the canal. So this is the Regent's Canal. And that's a lock. So I'm sure most of you know how this works. This is when the canal is not flat. If you are on one of those narrow boats, if you want to go up or down, you basically open one set of the gates until the water level goes up or down to move the boat. So that's quite cool. And the gas holders, so we've got 3 there. The third one will go because there's a lovely new park. And the 2 first ones, they've built those interesting flats inside, probably very expensive. King's Cross, maybe even 20 years ago, this area was not nice at all. It was full of illegal parties and squats and nightclubs. You might remember we had a nightclub called The Key, one called The Cross, one called Bagley's. If you've seen the video clip from Madonna, that was filmed in Bagley's. And this is all the former coal drop warehouses. So all those warehouses have been transformed into shops and restaurants. So now it's a very cool area, but very, very modern. That's maximum 5 years ago. It was a couple of years before COVID, really. So now it's lovely. All right, let's go for a little walk along the canal. And as promised, I need to let you know a bit more about Baroness Angela Baudet Coates. So Coates, you might know the name because of the bank. It's on the Strand. It's the Royal Bank. To open an account at Coates, you have to have a minimum of 500,000 pounds to put on the account. So don't go in there just trying to open an account if you don't have it. Well, you can try because they'll probably give you champagne. They'll open the champagne and then find out that you don't have the money. But yeah, it's the gentleman that opened the bank was Thomas Coates. He was a friend of Queen Victoria, so the connection with the royal family was already there. This is still where the royal family banks today. And so Thomas Coates made a fortune. And he lost his wife and remarried to a younger lady called Harriet. And he decided to, when he made his will, he decided to give all his money to his new wife. Nothing for his family, everything to his new wife, Harriet. Luckily, when Harriet passed away herself, she decided to give the money back into the Coates family. So she looked at all her grandchildren, step-grandchildren. She decided not to spread the money, and we're talking millions. She decided to give it all to one of them, which was a little bit unusual. So she observed all of her step grandchildren and she decided to give the money to